I promised some education talk in the 5 o'clock hour. I didn't talk about. I didn't promise you AI talking. Here's the reality, though. I don't know that any of us have a complete, full understanding as to where this is going to go with regard to artificial intelligence. It has escalated dramatically in a very, very short amount of time.
Oh, absolutely.
Artificial intelligence can be an incredible blessing for humanity, but it also frightens the hell out of me, considering it is going to fill so many gaps in terms of what we consider to be human work that I'm a little confused about what the human beings are going to do.
I mean, they've already replaced like full McDonald's staff with completely computer generated and run systems on AI.
But oddly, I just read a story, and I hear what you're saying, Mason, but oddly, I just read a story where McDonald's is hiring more people than ever because they have.
Interesting.
They are realizing that people are frequenting the stores without human beings less. And I think it's because people want a level of human interaction.
Oh, for sure. It's intrinsically built into our into our beings to want to talk to other people.
So when we talk about AI and the amount of artificial intelligence, I don't want to be an old fuddy-duddy that wonders, well, what the hell are the people going to do? Because I am certain that when modern inventions and modern conveniences became popular and widely available, I'm talking about washing machines and that sort of thing in the 1920s and 1930s. I mean, the first thing that the horse and buggy people worried about when the car was invented was what are we going to do with all of these people that work on the horses and buggies?
Yeah.
Well, they figured it out. But this seems a little different because you only need so many programmers. You can only have so many programmers. AI in all of its different forms. I mean, it's obviously an intelligent life or an intelligent life hack in terms of learning things, but it also does so many things for us. I mean, a long way to say 1316, and this might not be a satisfactory answer for you. I don't know where I'm at on it because I recognize that it's here. I recognize that it's here to stay, but I also recognize that it's scary as hell. And we have come so far. I remember when I was a kid, we played Oregon Trail on the Apple IIe computer. Oregon Trail was almost exclusively a word-based game. Eventually they had some graphics where you could see the little wagon going across, and then it would tell you that you've died of dysentery. Because more often than not, you died of dysentery. Yeah. You did not get to your location. So there was Oregon Trail. There was a football game on Apple IIe, and this was during computer class in the 7th grade. There was a football game that was all script, and it was just some really simplistic, basic programming, input, output, right? I want to pass. I want a medium pass, and then it will tell you if it was successful or not, and it will tell you what the down and distance is. But then there was a third game that we played, and some of you of a certain age, and I want to say the game was called Dr. Doctor, but it was like an Ask. It was a very, very rudimentary version of artificial intelligence. But it was strictly acting on inputs. And of course, we're in the 7th grade, so we're asking, hey, can I have sex? Or, whatever. And it would say, oh, I can't really answer that at this time.
Can I poop on a possum?
I can't really answer that at this time. So from there, and that's 36 years ago, 37 years ago, until today, you have AI that not only has the ability to answer every conceivable fact-based question, it is predictive in its nature as to what you are looking for, exactly how you are looking for it, and it will predict for you what it thinks you want and answer questions that you haven't even asked yet. Secondarily, and I have several people in my recent interactions have exposed me to what AI can do in terms of, call me an old man sitting on a front porch in a rocking chair, but I compose all of my own emails myself. But apparently, a lot of people don't do that anymore.
Yeah, a lot of them will. I've done it before. I mean, who wrote that new Joe Biden book, The Original Sin? Who was that again?
Jake Tapper.
Yeah, we sent me and Chris composed a big email using AI to perform the nicest worded email with a subtle jab thrown in there that would be subtle enough that they wouldn't have to notice that it was a joke to their publishing company to try and get him on the show. That's the last time I used one for writing an email.
Did you get a, by the way, did you get a response?
No reply yet.
Yeah, they vetted you guys.
Yeah, I know. But
happening.
Pretty realistic looking email.
So the bottom line is this. I'm not against artificial intelligence, obviously. I think just as we are not against computerized systems, I do think that self-driving technology is going to change the world in the next 5 years. I think artificial intelligence is one of the biggest game changers in modern history since electrification. I can't tell you of another thing that I think is going to change the world more since electricity. Electricity. And electricity isn't that old. I mean, if you pull back on it and look at it from 100,000 feet, 150 years ago was 1875.
Yeah.
We didn't have electricity. We didn't have cars. We didn't have, or any of the rest of it. And now in 2025, we are on the cusp of personal robots. Did you see this Elon robot that he debuted it a few months ago? Yeah, the Optimus robot that now can dance.
It can dance. It can now walk normally. Which I know that sounds really weird to say.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's huge because it's not just awkward robotic shuffling that you have kind of seen in most videos. They had a suit that looked like a human put over this robot, and you just let it walk in public. Guaranteed, you might there might be a couple little things you might notice and be like, that looks a little off.
Well, there was a video that came out several months ago. Maybe 6 months ago by now, and it was Optimus. Mm-hmm. And it was before they had perfected the walking, but he was standing behind a bar and he was serving drinks.
Yeah.
You see the video?
Yeah.
But he's interacting, and people walk up, what can I do for you? And he's wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
I forget what event it was at. And hey, I'll have a margarita. Margarita coming up, and he takes the thing and he makes a margarita and he serves the margarita, and but not only serves the margarita, but Optimus is having interactive conversation with the person while he's making the margarita.
Yeah, it's like, so what are you doing in town?
Yeah, what exactly. Are you doing? What are you doing in town? What are you doing in town? Oh, really? Oh, well, you ought to go to this place or that place or whatever.
It's not stiff motions when he's shaking the drink or stirring things up. It's it looks like a bartender would. Yeah.
It is scary and at the same time incredibly exciting. 7355 says, speaking of AI, what does artificial mean? It's a great question. At what point? Here's the big moment. Will computers develop awareness? At what point do we consider computers to be, in essence, living? And folks, don't kind of go, oh, come on, Murphy. Think about it. What is living? What is being alive? And I understand for those of us who have a faith, there's a faith-based component to all of this. What I'm suggesting to you is that AI technology and its ability to have awareness of itself, when you develop self-awareness, are you not alive?
Yeah, the ability to retain memory and be able to have conversations with people you've talked before, and
the ability to make decisions, and we're already here, make decisions beyond specific programming. In other words, hey, Mason, if I'm the AI, I say, I know you wanted me to do it this way, but I'm thinking maybe there's a better way to do it. And here's the way that I would suggest we do it. Like, not override programming decisions.
Suggested problem solving.
But recommend that there's a better way to do this, and I've figured out a better way than you knew.
Yeah.
And at that stage, when computers can determine that there's a better way to do it, then we're in danger.
You know what scares me? Emotion.
What happens when AI gets mad?
Yeah. There's anger, there's joy, there's sadness. I mean, it's all innately tied to human. But, like, does that count as mimicry? Are they mimicking what they've learned online as emotion? And so they portray it to us to generate a certain effect from us because of how we react? Or is it a genuine, they're actually feeling this?
Dakota says, we eat cows that are self-aware, have memory, and make decisions, including problem solving. That's right. A cow's alive.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, right. So 5042 writes in and says, you're alive when you have a soul. One of my good friends just passed from the world. He was cremated. His ashes, he doesn't have a soul any longer. He's not alive. Well, I mean, I understand it. Maybe that's more of a faith-based analysis. I'm not talking about alive like a human being. I'm just talking about alive. Like, does a bug have a soul? Does a spider have a soul? Answer, no. But a spider's alive. The tricky thing is that we're developing computers that, Dakota's point is if AI gets out of hand, we can just eat it. Okay, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, those are the kind of chips that I'm wanting.
I mean, I'm not entirely convinced that we're doomed to Terminator 2, but I don't know.
Hey, man, as soon as I see one of those Optimus units walk through bars in a jail
how far
cell,
are we away from... Right. tell me, I'll be back.
Yeah. I'll be back.
Remember the movie Short Circuit? The robot realized the definition of disassemble. That's right. They start recognizing those definitions, man, and that's when it gets tough. 5042 gets a little deeper and says, being alive in general term means having a life, not being dead or lifeless. In a scientific context, it often refers to self-sustaining chemical system capable of Darwinian evolution. This implies a range of characteristics like movement, growth, self-repair, death, reproduction, as well as a cellular structure. Well, what happens when... Well, let me ask you this. How close do you think we are? And this will get a little science fiction-y. How close do you think we are to downloading consciousness?
To like hard drives kind of thing?
I mean, if the brain is electrical impulse.
Yeah.
And we have storage. I mean, computers have storage, right? So, I mean, our brains have memory storage where that's where your memories are. And sometimes it's more difficult to recall memories because your storage gets cluttered. It gets tangled. And you have to untangle it. I mean, look, what does it mean to be alive? I mean, obviously I repeat it, that those, I'm not talking about this from a faith-based perspective. I'm just talking about this from, a scientific perspective, because at some point, if a computer system, and obviously for us, if it's downloaded into a model that looks human or humanoid, then that makes it easier for us to accept. But it really doesn't matter if it's in that model or on a screen. If it develops a consciousness and awareness of itself, an understanding of its quote unquote mortality, an understanding of its the possibilities, the limitations, 5042 says being alive in general terms means movement. Well, a tree is alive, but a tree doesn't have awareness necessarily. A tree doesn't have an ability to move outside
the Optimus robot is able to move.
Yeah, I mean, we're there with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. You talking about downloading consciousness makes me think of my point I made earlier is it actually you that was downloaded on there? And will it be you thinking through that? Or is it a copy/mimicry?
But if you have all of your memories and you carry on those memories after your body is dead, once again, science fiction, but if you're able to download your brain essentially onto a computer system, I hear you. Is that you?
It's Ship of Theseus conversation. You're replacing every little, like one at a time. It's still technically your memories, but you're replacing them one at a time with different electrodes pulsing in a computer system.
And so is it the same ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but...
By definition, yes, but is it just a mimicry of the original?
And does it matter?
Learned program. Yeah. And I think that's where it becomes on a personal issue.
If it's a perfect copy with perfect memories and it's a perfect replica, does it matter that it's a replica? Man, we got deep.
Yeah.
Quick. Thank you, 1316. Best subject we've had in a long time. And I owe it all to you because you wanted us to talk about education.